Namaskar. Welcome to Prakash on Basics. I'm Prakash Zog and we are looking into the Yoga Darshan. Today we'll talk of its basic book, the Yoga Sutra by Patanjali. After Bhagavad Gita, this is probably the most translated book, the one that is being studied even in Western and other cultures. In India, of course, it dominates. Uh, let's look into what this Yoga Sutra is. Uh, Yoga Sutra has 195 sutras. What sutras are, I had told you last time. Uh, these are divided into four chapters. Each of them is known as a pad. Uh, the first is Samadhi Pad. It has 51 sutras. Sadhana Pad, the second one, has 55 sutras. Uh, Vibhuti Pad, the third one, has 55 sutras again. And the last one, which is known as the Kaivalya Pad, the fourth one, has 34 sutras. So if you add them, 55 plus 55 from the central ones and 51 and 34 from the extreme ones, you land up with 110 plus 85, that makes it 195 sutras. And these are very brief statements, as I told you last time. The four chapters, the sequence of their study, and the way they have to be applied to an individual, uh, this is not the same. It is more convenient to study chapters 2, 3, 1, and 4 as the sequence. Sadhana, Vibhuti, Samadhi, and Kaivalya. That's because Samadhi Pad, the first one, is for the advanced stage of sadhakas or practitioners. It is more convenient for beginners to start with Sadhana Pad, which gives you the elementary state of how to work about. I'll first summarize the whole thing in simple words. Uh, the chapters deal with what are the contents. This is specified in the Samadhi Pad. What to start with is specified in the Sadhana Pad. What would be the gains as you proceed along this path en route? This is in the Vibhuti Pad. And what is the ultimate objective? That comes in the Kaivalya Pad. Also, to calm and stabilize the chitta, what physical, mental, ethical training is to be done through abhyasa and vairagya is discussed. Mastering Kriya Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga by the technique of Sanyam is also taught. What vibhutis will be achieved and how ultimate Kaivalya is to be reached is specified here. Don't worry about the terms. I'm going to explain each of them as we proceed, not just today, but in subsequent lectures, because they are the crux of what we are going to talk of. To achieve this self-detached state of Purusha, something that we talked of long back, and Prakruti, by self-realization, is how Kaivalya state would be achieved. And during all this You're not to forget Ishvara, the ultimate Lord. So, this yoga, as I told you last time, has the original Sankhya's 24 factors plus Ishvara, the concept of Ishvara Pranidhan, that is ultimate surrender to him, is the one that is specified here. If you look at all this process, it is such a logical approach that was put forward a minimum of 2000 years ago. And that's when today's civilized societies, many of them were barely out of their caves and jungles. That's when this philosophy was already being put to practice here in India. How do we go about? I'll first explain what is covered in each path in probably today's lecture and the next one. Let's begin with the first one, which is the Samadhi path. It begins with two sutras that give the approach and the primary definition of yoga. Atha Yoga Anushasanam is the first one. If you verbally translate it now, yoga's discipline is what it talks of. So it's not just teaching or talking something, but it tells you about controlled behavior through practice and self improvement. And the second sutra of this is uh, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, the calming and controlling of one's mind and its related faculties. So, this is what it begins with. The first chapter explains the importance of what this chitta is and what chitta vritti nirodh is, how to reduce the mental fluctuations is being taught, and it explains the five vrittis or causes of fluctuations. Everything that follows is for this objective of controlling your mind. So, mental perfection, mental well being is the prime goal, and that's also the goal of humans, because our mind is our strength, and that's what differentiates us from everything else. Uh, Yoga Sutra, therefore, actually gives us the method to achieve uh, all this in sequential steps. Uh, Unluckily, uh, we today often are not aware of this mental aspect, and we only think and talk of yoga and its physical aspects. It's yoga through physical aspects leading to mental well being. That's what we are driving at. Yoga is a practice to be implemented with discipline. That's what it starts with. So it is the total control of the mental faculty, um, that is the objective. Physical mastery is just the means, that's not the end. Uh, the role of abhyasa, that is systematic practice, and vairagya, detachment, uh, is taught of in this. And how are we to achieve this? This is also clarified. What are the obstacles uh, in the efforts to achieve this? And what are the methods by which we can overcome them? Uh, It also includes the concept of Ishwar Pranidhan, total unflinching surrender and devotion to Ishwara, the ultimate supreme power. Because finally, it is this humility that is important within every individual. The outcome of all phala or fruits of all actions have to be left to him and for him to take care of. And that is one of the steps that has been laid stress on. And then, of course, the heading itself talks of samadhi. There are two types of samadhis that are explained here. Uh, Samadhi is the state of total engrossment with no other thought in the mind. The two types are sampradnyat, that is the first or the lower one, which has some object or point of fixation in front of you, and asampradnyat, which is beyond any object or point of fixation. That is the one that is going to lead to the ultimate state. I must clarify these sampradnyat also. It can be actually split into four different types. Savitark. So here there is a point of fixation that you have to think of, an object such as an idol. The second is savichar, that is fixation on a thought or a word. So it could be a mantra or a word like Om that is talked of, which is a very common practice in the culture. And then the third is sanand, that is with happiness or only bliss. So you are just happy in concentrating on the happiness itself. And the fourth one is known as the sasmita, the one that deals with self realization. Sa asmita is what it is. Uh, the chapter also mentions how to achieve these states. This then was the first chapter. The sadhana pad is the second chapter. As I told you, it has 55 sutras. Sadhana means disciplined efforts to achieve some objective. It could be mental, it could be physical, it could be spiritual. But people tend to associate it more with the physical aspect. Samadhipad, that's the first chapter, explains concepts for advanced sadhakas or practitioners. Sadhana Pad tells what beginners must do to achieve this state of samadhi. What is the practical path? What steps are to be taken by such an individual? What are the physical and mental preparations to achieve the ultimate goal, which is Kaivalya? Then in the process, it explains Kriya Yoga. Kriya is activity actually, and Yoga, as I told you, is joining. And it explains the three components of Kriya Yoga. The first is Tapa, that is ideally self-discipline. But the word Tapa means is associated with heat. So it really talks of straining oneself very rigorously. Uh, the second is Swadhyaya, that is self study for total realization. And the third one is the one I talked of some time back, which is Ishwar Pranidhan, surrender of everything to Ishwar, total devotion, total dedication. So Tapa, Swadhyay, and Ishwar Pranidhan together form the Kriya Yoga. Uh, Let me also remind you of one thing, that uh, at present this word Kriya Yoga is talked of with different meanings by different people and sages and people who have been talking to others. But what I have told you is associated with the original definition that is there in the original text of this book. Uh, the objective of all this, of course, is to achieve Kaivalya. Uh, the meaning is therefore associated only with Yoga Sutra. Uh, this chapter also explains how Kriya Yoga helps to reduce the five klesha or causes of misery. Um, these five are avidya, that is not knowing, asmita, that is the sense of dominance of I and me, and raga, that is attachment leading to ultimately greed, and dvesha, that is hatred or dislike, and abhinivesha, fear of death or termination of everything, so that striving to live. So these five factors are the ones that lead to sorrow, and how they do is also explained to some extent. The chapter also talks of karmashaya, which is the store of the activities or the karma that you have done. It is this that leads to grief or sorrow, which is referred to as dukkha. Avoiding, reducing, or eliminating this dukkha is the objective of not only this Yoga Sutra, but also most of the philosophies that are from the Indian subcontinent, including Jainism and Buddhist philosophies. The original four that we have been talking of are obviously the ones that concentrate on reducing dukkha and moving towards bliss. Uh, and then, very importantly, sadhana pad also deals with Ashtanga Yoga. Ashta is eight, Anga is parts. So, eight parted yoga, uh, the yoga with eight limbs. This obviously is the most popular and common form of yoga, known and practiced by millions around the world. Uh, I'll go into the details in a separate chapter as we process uh, the sequential aspects of this Yoga Sutra. The chapter also actually deals with uh, the first five of this. They are the ones in focus in this chapter. Um, these are yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, and pratyahar. Uh, these are obviously the first to be achieved through sadhana and are known as the um, bahirang, or the outer set of limbs, the five of them. Don't worry, every word, every one of them, I will discuss and talk to you about. Effectively, then, this is what the first two chapters or padas cover. there is a lot more to come. So I'll concentrate and explain what the next two contain in our next time's lecture, and then move into the major concepts, which of course are the ones that all of us must understand and practice. If you have liked whatever I have said, please like and subscribe to this channel. Try and catch on to some of the ideas that are here. If you have read something about it, good. If not, just try and help yourself with whatever information you can as we proceed. Um, Subscribe to this channel, uh, tell your friends about it, because knowledge is meaningless if you keep it to yourself. It has to be passed on. So be kind enough to pass on whatever you have gained to others also. I'll come back with the next two chapters next time. Till that time, namaskar.